see the thing.
Look, there's a ship below us.
It looks like a big one. It's got 3 funnels.
You can even see the people on the decks.
Let's wave to them. Do you think they can see us?
What an adventure. Can you believe it? Wow. Now, neither James nor the others know it, but the ship that is passing beneath them is actually the Queen Mary, sailing out of the English Channel on her way to America. And on the bridge of the Queen Mary, the astonished captain is standing with a group of his officers, all of them gasping at the great round ball hovering overhead.
I don't like it.
Nor do I, ma'am. Do you think it's following us?
I tell you, I don't like it.
It could be dangerous.
That's it. It's a secret weapon. Holy cats. Send a message to the queen at once. The country must be won. And hand me my telescope. There are birds everywhere. The whole sky is teeming with birds. What in the world are they doing? And wait a second. There are people. I can see them moving. There's do I have this darn thing focused properly? It looks like a little boy in short trousers. Yes, I can distinctively see a little boy in short trousers standing up there. And there's a sort of giant ladybug.
Just a minute, Captain.
And a colossal green grasshopper.
Captain, please.
And a mammoth spider.
Oh dear. She's been at the whiskey again.
And a simply enormous centipede.
Call the ship's doctor. The captain is not well. Get help, quickly. But look, it's disappearing into those thin clouds. We'll never see it again. Never mind that. She's flipped her lid. She's popped her cork. I'm the captain now. Get her off the bridge. Take her below. She's sick.
I'm not crazy. I know what I saw. I wonder where we'll finish up this time.
Who cares? Seagulls can always get back to the land sooner or later.
Wow, didn't seem like those people on the deck really got excited when they saw us. Well, I do suppose we looked a tad bit peculiar.
What do you mean, James?
Well, what I mean is...
What he means is that we all look mighty strange to be human beings. I mean, they had theirs attached to the side of their heads.
Doesn't everybody?
Where do you suppose I put my ears?
I don't know.
Right here, one on each side of my tummy. And I swallow soil.
And without charging a penny, I gobble up all the nasty little insects that are gobbling up all the farmer's crops. I am the farmer's best friend.
I think y'all are wonderful. Everyone around here seems loved. How nice this is.
Not me. I'm the pest, and I'm proud of it. Oh, I'm such a shocking, dreadful pest.
What about you, Spider? Are you a much loved creature?
Oh, no. I'm not loved at all, and yet I do nothing but good. All day long I catch flies and mosquitoes in my webs. I really am a decent person.
I know you are.
It's very unfair the way spiders are treated. Why, just last week your own horrible Aunt Sponge flushed my poor dear father down the drain of the bath. I saw it from the corner of my ceiling. It was ghastly.
But isn't it lucky to kill a spider?
Of course, it's unlike a kill a spider. Look what happened to Aunt Sponge after she done that. Boom! We all weathered, didn't we? As the peach went over her.
It was very satisfactory. Could you sing us a song about it, please?
Aunt Sponge was tremendously fat, and tremendously flabby. Her tummy and waist were sideways paced. It was worse on the place she sat. So she said, I must make myself flat. I must make myself as sleek as a cat. I shall do without dinner to make myself thinner. But along came the peach. All the people peach. It made her far thinner than that.
That was very nice. Now sing one about Aunt Spiker.
With pleasure. Aunt Spiker was as thin as a wire, and as dry as a bone, only drier. She was so long and thin, if you carried her in, you could use her poking the fire. I must do something quick, she found. I want fat. I want pound upon pound. I must eat lots and lots of marshmallows and shots until I start bulging all around. Ah, yes, she announced. I have sworn that I'll alter my figure by dawn, cried the peach with a snigger. I'll alter your figure and under a fly out on the lawn.
It's getting colder.
And darker. Why don't we all go down and keep warm until tomorrow?
No, I think that would be
keep watch. Then if anything happens, we shall be ready for it.
Well, I see that James Henry Trotter and his companions are crouched close together to keep warm. Little do they know what still lies ahead. Oh dear, it scares even me. Well, anyway, to get on with the story, there's not a sound anywhere. Listen how quiet it is. The giant peach is swaying gently from side to side, quietly, softly, not at all like airplanes that roar through the sky, driving whatever might be lurking secretly up there in the great cloud mountains back into the cover of the clouds again. That is why people who travel in airplanes never see anything. But the peach, ah yes, the peach makes no noise as it floats along. Wait. Shh. Be quiet. There, over there, do you see them? I think our travelers are about to any second.
James, look, what are those things?
Oh, I don't like this at all. Shh, don't let them hear you. They must be cloudmen.
Cloudmen? Oh dear! I'm glad I'm blind and I can't see them, or I would probably scream.
Oh no, I hope they don't turn around and see us.
But what are they doing?
It looks as if they're grabbing handfuls of clouds and rolling them in their fingers and making what looks like white marbles. There's a huge pile of marbles.
They must be absolutely mad, but I'm not afraid of them.
Listen, they're singing something, and they're shoveling the white marbles over the clouds into space.
Down they go, hail and snow, freezes and sneezes and noses will blow.
Hailstones! They've been making hailstones and they're showering them over the world below. They're probably practicing for winter.
That's ridiculous. There's no hailstones in summertime.
For heaven's sake, Cindy, don't make so much noise.
Those imbeciles couldn't hear anything. They're as deaf as doorknobs. You watch. Idiots! Make your boots! Helmets! Hundreds! What are you doing over there, dummies? Woo!
Now you done it, you lumps of earth.
I'm not afraid of them.
Quick, run there! They're trying to Listen, I do believe they're not hanging us anymore.
We've left them behind.
The seagulls must have pulled us away out of danger.
All right, let's go up and see. It's all clear. I can't see them anymore.
How fast we were going all of a sudden. I wonder why.
I imagine the seagulls didn't let that place any better than we did. They wanted to go there since they could. They got right at that hailstone current we just had.
Yes, faster and faster fly the seagulls, skimming across the sky at a tremendous pace. With the peaks trailing out behind them, cloud after cloud goes by on either side, all of them ghostly white in the moonlight, and several more times during the night the travelers catch glimpses of cloudmen moving around on the top of these clouds, working their sinister magic upon the world below. They even passed a snow machine in operation, with cloudmen turning it handle, and a blizzard of snowflakes blowing out of the great funnel above. They see huge drums being used for thunder. They see frost factories and wind producers in deep in the hollow of a large billowy cloud, something that can only be a cloudman's city. Just before dawn, they hear a soft whooshing noise above their head. They glance up to see an endless gray bat-like creature swooping down towards them. Then it circles round and round the peach, flapping its great wings. Then it utters a serious high-long cries and flies off into the night again. How terrifying! They all sit motionless. Fearfully they sit in silence, waiting for the sun as it comes over the rim of the horizon for a new day to come.
Look! There's land below!
It looks like streets and houses.
But how gigantic they all are.
But what enormous tall buildings. I've never seen anything like them before in England.
This couldn't possibly be England.
Then where is it? You know what those buildings are? They're skyscrapers. We're in America. And that reference means we crossed the Atlantic Ocean overnight.
It's incredible! It's unbelievable!
It's not possible.
to America. You know, I had a friend once who
Be
was about to
quiet!
go.
Who cares about your friend? The thing we have to think about now is how on earth are we going to get down to earth?
Ask James.
That shouldn't be too very difficult. All I have to do is cut loose a few strings. Not too many, mind you, just enough that the other seagulls can't quite keep up. And slowly and gently we'll reach the ground. Centipede will cut through some of the strings.
My goodness, I forgot to polish my boots. Everyone must tell me to polish my boots before we arrive.
Can you ever stop thinking about your...
What was that?
It looks like blink out of those clouds over there. And, oh no, it cut through every single silken strings as it went by.
We're falling!
Help!
Save us! We're lost! James! Do something, James! You've always had the answer before! Quickly! Do something!
I'm sorry. I can't help. Everyone, close your eyes. It won't be long now.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, labor. Goodbye, earthworm. Sorry for all the times I was mean to you, even though you was always as blind as a bat.
Never mind. Goodbye, Centipede. I'm positive you weren't so bad.
In the end, I know it is. We're dead. We've had it.
I don't believe it. But we're not dead.
We're not? We're not dead?
We're not. We're alive.
But where are we, James?
I know it's hard to believe, but we hit the needle of the Empire State Building.
You're kidding!
How will we get down?
Don't worry, it's down.
Why are all those people staring out of windows cheering us? And all of those people on the streets are waving madly.
Maybe they think we're heroes.
You know, I think you're right. They do think we're heroes.
James was right. Everyone on the beach was now looked upon as a hero, especially James. They were all brought down in 5 minutes and escorted to the steps of City Hall, where the mayor of New York made a speech of welcome. And while he was doing this, 100 steeplejacks armed with ropes and ladders and pulleys and swarmed up on top of the Empire State Building and lifted the giant peach off the spike guard and lowered it onto the ground. The mayor decided there just had to be a ticker tape parade for these wonderful visitors. A procession was formed in a leading car, which was an enormous open limousine, sat James and all his friends. Next came the giant peach itself. Men with cranes and hooks had quickly hoisted it onto a very large truck where now sat, looking just as huge and proud and brave as ever. There was, of course, a bit of a hole in the bottom of it where the spike of the Empire State Building had gone in. But who cared about that, or indeed about the peach juice that was dripping out of it onto the street? Behind the peach, skidding all over the place in the peach juice, came the mayor's limousine. And behind that, there were about 20 other limousines carrying all the important people of the city. And the crowds went wild with excitement. They cheered, they screamed, they yelled, they tossed bits of white paper and ticker tape at James and all his friends, who were standing up on the car waving as they went by. Then, a rather curious thing happened. A little girl in a red dress ran out and shouted, "Oh, James, James, could I please have just a tiny taste of your marvelous peach?" "Help yourself," James shouted back. Eat all you want. It won't keep forever anyway." Needless to say that this was the beginning of the end for our splendid peach. Children came from everywhere. They jumped up onto the truck and swarmed like little ants all over the peach, eating and eating to their heart's content. More and more boys and girls came from all directions to join the feast. Soon there was a trail long of children a mile long chasing after the peach. It was really a fantastic sight. To some people, it looked as though the Pied Piper of Hamelin had suddenly descended upon New York. And to James, who had never dreamed that there could be so many children as this in the world, it was the most marvelous thing that had ever happened. And thus, the journey ended. But the travelers lived on. Everyone became rich and successful in the new country. The centipede was made vice president in charge of sales of a high-class boot and shoe manufacturer. The earthworm with his lovely brown skin was employed by a company that made women's face cream and to do commercials on television. The silkworm and spider, after they'd been taught to make nylon thread instead of silk, set up a factory together to make ropes for tightwads. The glowworm became the light of the Statue of Liberty and thus saved a grateful city from having to pay a huge electricity bill every year. The old green grasshopper became a member of the New York Symphony Orchestra, where his playing was greatly admired. The ladybug who was haunted her whole life that the fear that her house was on fire and her children were all gone, married the head of the fire department and lived happily ever after. And as for the enormous peach stone, it was set up permanently and in place in honor in Central Park and became a famous monument. But it was not only a famous monument, it was also a famous house. And in the famous house lived a famous person, James Henry Trotter himself. And all you had to do any day of the week was go knock upon the door, and the door would always be open to you. And you can ask James to tell the story of his marvelous adventure on the beach. In fact, one day, James decided to make a story. So he did. And that is what you have just seen.